Hey there everyone, and welcome back to Shivers and Stories. Now, if you're anything like me, you love a good spooky story or urban legend, and trust me, you don't get much spookier than this. Today we're diving headfirst into the chilling world of Japanese urban legends with a tale that'll leave you sleeping with the lights on. Kuchisake The Slit-Mouthed Woman. This is a story that's been terrifying people for generations, and let me tell you, once you hear it, you'll understand why. But before we get started, please like and subscribe and leave a comment below on what's your favorite spooky story. So where does this terrifying tale begin? Let's dive into the eerie origins of this spine-chilling legend. Well, the legend of Kuchisake Onna goes way back, all the way to the Edo period of Japan, somewhere between 1603 and 1868. This was a time when folklore and ghost stories were an integral part of Japanese culture, often used to explain the unexplainable and to teach moral lessons. That's a long time for a story to stick around, right? Imagine how many generations have whispered this tale, each adding their own twist and turn to the narrative. It's like the OG Japanese ghost story, passed down through whispers and campfire tales for centuries. Picture children huddled around a flickering fire, their faces illuminated by the glow, as they listen in rapt attention to the haunting story of Kuchisake Onna. But things got really real in the late 20th century, especially during the 70s and 80s, when this terrifying tale absolutely blew up. It wasn't just a story anymore, it became a widespread phenomenon that gripped the nation. It spread like wildfire, captivating the imaginations and fears of an entire nation. People couldn't stop talking about it, and it seemed like everyone had their own version of the story. Indeed, the legend of Kuchisake Onna became a cultural phenomenon. It was more than just a ghost story, it was a reflection of societal fears and anxieties. The fear it invoked was palpable, and it became a staple of Japanese urban folklore, a story that resonated deeply with the collective consciousness of the people. A testament to its enduring power and the collective psyche of the people. Even today, the legend of Kuchisake Onna continues to be a source of fascination and fear, proving that some stories are simply too powerful to fade away. Now imagine this. It's a dark, foggy night, streetlights casting eerie shadows that dance in the mist. The air is thick with an unsettling silence, broken only by the occasional distant sound of a car passing by or a dog barking in the distance. The mist swirls around you, making it hard to see more than a few feet ahead. You're walking alone and you see her, a woman often described as strikingly beautiful, shrouded in a long coat. Her presence is almost ethereal, like she doesn't quite belong to this world. Her eyes catch the dim light, reflecting a mysterious glint that sends a shiver down your spine. But something's off. She's wearing a surgical mask, which, wouldn't be that strange these days, but back then, it was a dead giveaway that something was wrong. The mask hides her face, but you can sense there's something sinister behind it. Her movements are slow, deliberate, almost as if she's waiting for something. Underneath that mask, she hides a horrifying secret, a disfigurement so gruesome it's said to drive anyone who sees it to madness. The stories say that her face was mutilated in a fit of jealousy or rage, leaving her with a permanent, terrifying smile. It's a sight that haunts the dreams of those who have been unfortunate enough to glimpse it. And she might be carrying something else too. A sharp object, maybe a pair of scissors, or even a glinting knife. These tools are not just for show, they are part of her legend, instruments of her vengeance. The mere thought of her wielding them sends chills down your spine. Yeah, not someone you want to run into in a dark alley or anywhere else for that matter. The urban legend warns of her sudden appearances, often in the most unexpected places, catching her victims off guard. The fear she instills is palpable, a mix of dread and morbid curiosity. Kuchisake Onna. Do you think I'm beautiful? This question, seemingly innocent, is the prelude to her terrifying reveal. Answering it wrong, or sometimes even right, can seal your fate. The legend of Kuchisake Onna is a chilling reminder of the thin line between beauty and horror, a haunting visage that lingers in the shadows of our minds. Here's where things get really creepy. Kuchisake Onna, she doesn't just jump out and scare you. No, she plays a game. A terrifying, twisted game. She approaches her victims, usually at night because of course it is, and in a sweet, alluring voice she asks a simple question. Am I beautiful? In Japanese it's watashi kirei. Now you're caught in a terrifying trap because no matter how you answer, something terrible awaits. Kuchisake Onna. Watashi kire. Whether you say yes or no, the outcome is never good. This chilling question marks the beginning of a nightmare that has haunted the streets of Japan for decades. Let's say you answer no. Bad move.
Her sweet demeanor vanishes, and she reveals her true, horrifying form.
The surgical mask drops, revealing her grotesquely mutilated mouth, sliced ear to ear in a horrifying grin. And remember that sharp object she was carrying? Yeah, it comes into play. Some stories say she'll kill you right there on the spot.
But if you answer yes, well, she'll remove her mask anyway, showing you the full terrifying extent of her disfigurement. And ask, how about now? Core demo?
And trust me, you do not want to be around to see what happens if you answer honestly. Now, you're probably thinking, is there any way to survive an encounter with Kuchisake Onna? And the answer is, well, maybe. There are whispers, rumors of ways to escape her clutches. Some say you have to confuse her, throw her off her game, answer her question with something ambiguous like, you look average, or, you're not bad. Others believe that distraction is key. Throw money at her or candy, anything to divert her attention long enough for you to make a run for it. And hey, maybe telling her you have somewhere to be, an important appointment, would work. Who knows, she might respect a tight schedule. So we've talked about what Kuchisake Onna does, but who is she? Why is she doing this? Well, like any good ghost story, there are multiple versions, each more tragic and terrifying than the last. One popular version claims that she was once the wife of a powerful samurai, a woman known for her beauty.
But she was also unfaithful, and when her husband found out, well, let's just say he wasn't happy.
In a fit of jealous rage, he sliced her mouth from ear to ear, muttering, "Who will think you're beautiful now? Talk about a toxic relationship, am I right?" And as if the story of Kuchisake Onna wasn't creepy enough, it gets even weirder. See, this legend, it's been around so long that it's morphed and changed, taking on different forms in different parts of Japan. It's like a game of spooky telephone. In some areas she's not carrying scissors, but a rusty sickle. Yeah, even more terrifying. And the questions she asks, the way she interacts with her victims, it can change from region to region. It's like she's a constantly evolving embodiment of fear itself. Now, the legend of Kuchisake Onna, it's not just some campfire story, it's woven itself into the fabric of Japanese culture. We're talking movies, TV shows, manga, books, you name it. This story has been told and retold countless times, each iteration adding its own unique spin on the legend, and it makes sense, right? It's a story that taps into some primal fears, the fear of the unknown, the fear of disfigurement, the fear of being judged for our appearance. It's a story that stays with you long after you've heard it.
Absolutely. This legend is deeply ingrained in the cultural consciousness, influencing a wide array of media and continuing to captivate people's imaginations.
But the story of Kuchisake Onna, it's not just confined to the realm of fiction. No, in 1979, this urban legend took a terrifying turn into reality. Rumors of Kuchisake Onna sightings began to spread throughout Japan, and let me tell you, people panicked. Schools implemented curfews, parents wouldn't let their children walk home alone, and the police, they were on high alert, increasing patrols to try and calm the collective fear that had gripped the nation. It was like something out of a horror movie, except it was real life.
The fear was palpable. It was a nationwide phenomenon that showcased just how powerful and influential urban legends can be, especially when they blur the lines between myth and reality.
So why is the story of Kuchisake Onna so terrifying? What is it about this particular legend that sends shivers down our spines and keeps us awake at night? Sure, she's a vengeful spirit with a penchant for sharp objects, but there's something deeper at play here. It's not just the physical threat she poses, but the psychological terror she embodies. This legend, it preys on our deepest fears, our anxieties about how we're perceived by others. It taps into the primal fear of being judged and found wanting, of being seen as less than perfect. It's a story about the masks we wear, both literally and figuratively, and the consequences of judging someone based solely on their appearance. The legend forces us to question our own superficial judgments and the masks we hide behind. It's a story that forces us to confront our own mortality, our own vulnerabilities, and that's what makes it so damn effective. It reminds us that beneath the surface, we are all fragile and vulnerable.
Exactly. The psychological impact of this legend is profound. It lingers in the back of our minds, making us question our own fears and insecurities. It taps into universal fears and insecurities, making it a powerful narrative that resonates on a deeply personal level. We all have fears of being judged, of not being good enough, and this legend brings those fears to the forefront. It's no wonder it has endured for so long. The story of Kuchisake Onna continues to captivate and terrify because it speaks to something fundamental within us all.
So there you have it, the chilling tale of Kuchisake Onna, the Slit-Mouthed Woman. It's a story that's been terrifying people for centuries, and it's easy to see why. It's a story that gets under your skin, that makes you question what's lurking in the shadows. What do you think? Have you ever heard of Kuchisake Onna before? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to share any other creepy urban legends you might know. And hey, while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any more spooky content. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and for the love of all that is good, don't answer any questions from masked strangers.